On the banks of the mighty River Yare, part of the Broad system. Yeah, again, it's another baking hot day, hence the reason the umbrella's up, keep the sun off me. I've had a week off this week and thought it'd be a cracking way to round off the week coming on such an awesome venue like this. Probably been fishing for about half an hour. I've had a couple of small skimmers, roach and a perch. Mate Craig is fishing 2 pegs up above, and he's had a bream and a couple of skimmers. So there's 1 or 2 fish around, which is good to see. We're at the bottom of the tide. Sort of 11:30 I think is right at the bottom of the tide, so we're near enough at that now. Sort of started a bit later this morning, plain and simply because I'm going to fish sort of into the early evening. Because I want to catch it when the tide's sort of flooding back in, and fish on the top of the tide and just on the slight ebb of that tide as well. I think that's around about 6:30 tonight. Just got to keep an eye on the boats because they cut round the corner a little tiny bit, and I'm fishing sort of 3 parts of the way over, and they can quite easily sort of cut into your line if you're not paying attention what you're doing. I've got 2 rods set up. The one rod I've really got sort of for when that's on the main flood of the tide, which is a Horizon 13 foot. I've got 6-pound main line with a 8-pound shock leader on that. And on this rod, just get that bit of worm off. On this rod, it's a 13 foot Cadence number 3 feeder. I've used this on my local riveroos before. I've never used it on a tidal river. I've got this set with a 3-ounce tip, where sort of on the ooze I've used 2-ounce tip and 1.5 ounce. There's also comes with a 4-ounce tip, so as you buy the rod it comes with a 2, 3 and a 4. You can get an extra 1.5 ounce, or I believe you can also get a 5-ounce tip. Like I say, I've got this set with a 3-ounce tip. At the moment I'm using an 1.5 ounce feeder, which I'll probably I'll get away with an ounce now, but I've got an 1.5 ounce feeder on for the time being. The reel is Cadence CS8 4000. I've got a 8-pound shock leader and 5-pound main line. I usually know with 5-pound main line I normally use a 6-pound shock leader, but because I'm going to be using heavier feeders I've gone for a heavier shock leader, so no risk of any crack offs. It's a rod up in the air job today. On the bait front we've got some choppy and caster. Got some dead maggot there. As you can see there, I've also got some sweet corn. Got plenty of feeders and the ground bait. This is Bait Tech Pro Natural Dark. I mixed this up yesterday, so it's soaked up all the water, all the particles are soaked up, and that's just nice. That's going to hold in the feeder and come out really quick in this flow. So I'm fishing about 3 parts of the way over. Just a swim. So beautiful swim, beautiful river. So you see a big bay over there, sort of running down. You can see the tide mark on the reeds. So yeah, it's, like I say, I'm 3 parts the way over. So it's, you know, it's a good old cast, but the rod's handling it really well. I haven't, like I say, I haven't used this rod for this style of fishing before, so I was really intrigued to see how it would go on, and at the moment it's ticking all the boxes, which I almost knew that it would. So I'm gonna put another bit of worm on. there's a couple of boats coming, so we'll let them go by. I've got my usual sort of 2-inch link there, but I've got that stopped. I've got 2 stops there and 1 stop there, so I can actually sort of move it about. I've got my twizzled loop and I've got my quick change connector there. Piece of worm. I've got a 28-inch 014 Aspire hook length, and that's down to a size 14 matrix SW feeder. So we'll get this back out. So we're about 3 parts the way over. Not a lot of run now, so I'll probably keep a fairly tight line on it. Doesn't need much of a bow. A lot of the bites that you're sort of getting are going to be little taps or little tiny sort of drop back bites. You can see we've got the rod right up in the air. Not much tension on the tip now. Probably actually drop down to an ounce feeder in a minute. It's probably about 12 months since I've actually fished this river. And like I say, having a week off, it was just a nice way to round off the week, really, being able to come to such a nice venue as this. Now, one thing, it's absolutely brilliant now that sun's gone behind the clouds. Yeah, I've walked this probably very nigh at low water now. Just have a check the old clock. Well, that's about 12:15. The Langley outlet on the tides reckon that was going to be about 11:30, sort of 11:45 sort of time. So adding on half an hour, that's just about right. It's a bite and a fish. It's a fish nonetheless. Shockwave is just coming through the rings. It's a netter. Beautiful, yes. Lively skimmer. There you go. Slimy skimmer. Beautiful fish. Nice way to proper start the session off. See if we can get a few more. Tide is just starting to run back in now, so it's starting to flood back in. The wind's changed direction. Still using 8.5, but you can tell we've got nice steady sort of flow on it now. I've had 3 skimmers that sort of size. a couple of roach, a couple of perch. Craig's lost a good fish down the bottom there. I'm still fishing down that same line about 3 parts of the way over. The tide isn't meant to be as high as what it has been sort of like a week ago, and it should trickle in nice and gently with a bit of luck. Keep an eye on it because it will flood up round behind where all the tackle is and everything, so that needs putting back up the bank. And the boots will have to come off and the wellers will have to go on. So I've only, since the tide's turned, I've only had just a couple of little taps. Just let a little bit of line out, not tightening up at all. Just letting the flow pick up the line, creating that bow between tip and feeder. Where you got to keep in touch with the flow so the feeder is critically balanced on the bottom, so literally any fish that moves that feeder causes that drop back on the tip. One thing is, if you don't like boats, then this ain't the place for you. I'm not a massive lover of boats, but you just got to keep an eye on what's going on, so when they're coming from the right it isn't too bad because they're staying over the far side. It's when they cut through the corner, they come round, they sort of in the middle of the river, then cut over to your side. Cadence number 3 is absolutely brilliant for this at the moment. So I'm more than happy with the way it's performing. I did think that the 3/8 tip might be a little bit too light and I might have needed the 4/8, but at the moment it's absolutely perfect. Like I say, I can step up to I've got 2/8 feeder here if need to, and also as well what I've got is some clip-on weights, so all you have to do to sort of adjust the weight of the feeder, just locate the lugs on the side of the feeder and just push them into place like so. That's a 10 gram, and just to take it off is just bring it back off. So I've got 5 and I've got 10 grams, so if I'm fishing like I am at the moment with the 1.5 ounce, I can add a 10 gram to it, I could add 20 gram to it, just to keep in touch with the flow and keeping the weight of the feeder right. So the Nisa feeders, this is perfect for them. Nick Larkin is certainly hitting the nail on the head with this. Perfect little addition to the feeder. You can get 5 grams, 10 grams, I think you can also get 15s. A little indication there. Might have been a bit of weed, could be a little roach, or even a perch, or, oh no, it's a little bobby ruff. Look at that, eh? What absolute gorgeous little fish. Little spines on the top there. Roller's decided to blow round, but what a gorgeous little fish. Don't mind catching you, but want to catch some skimmers in some bream. See if we can get a few more.